Hi, this is Paul with Informed CIO. Today we're going to be talking about one of my pet peeves, and that's the conflating of disaster recovery and resiliency. Now, these are highly overlapping terms, so confusing them is very forgivable, but they are different, and understanding those differences is very important. So let's go ahead and unpack this a little bit. So I'm going to start with talking about one of the fundamental concepts of any hyperscale cloud, and that's the region. So what a region is a specific geographic area. So in this case, let's say this region is Virginia. And within Virginia, you're going to have multiple collections of data centers. And these will be referred to as availability zones or availability domains, depending on the specific cloud. So although the term is different, AZ or AD, it's referring to the same thing, same architecture. So let's go ahead and we'll draw out the first one. So this is availability zone A, and we've got several data centers in it. We've got availability zone B, again with our multiple data centers, and then we'll draw out C. And the idea of resiliency is that these data centers, they're close enough together that there's less than a millisecond of latency between each of them. And that's really cool because you're able to start doing things like treating this like it's the same local area network. You can actually take your production resources and spread them out across these multiple availability domains. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's say that there is a server. Let's see how to illustrate a server. Let's use blue here. So let's say this is a web server and you've got one web server in availability zone A, you've got one in B, you've got one in C. So now you're able to literally lose a third of your capacity. Let's say C goes down and one third of your total web server capacity is down. However, you're still up and you're still operational. This is resiliency. Now, a lot of people try to say, okay, I have this in place. I'm spread out across multiple availability zones. This is also disaster recovery, and it's not. And the reason is these availability zones, these availability domains, although they're spread out, although they're separated from each other, and they're far enough apart that they're fault decorrelated, they're still too close with each other to cover you in the event of a natural disaster. So what you need to do in order to actually have disaster recovery is basically take your data, take your systems, and also have them replicated to a separate FEMA region if you're in the US, or something if you're outside of the US where you've got a lot of geographic separation between them. So I'm going to illustrate that here. We're going to draw out another region. We're going to say this is on the other side of the country. We'll make this California. We're going to take our three availability zones, draw them back out. Going to hide the keyboard there. And then we're going to start replicating these systems from Virginia to California. Now, there's a lot of ways that you can go about doing that replication. Is this a cold site? Is it a warm site? Is it a hot site? And we'll talk about some of those replication techniques in other videos. But the important thing to understand is you really have to take that data and get it out of region to another region for this to meet the definition of disaster recovery. So if it's all within a region, you're talking about resiliency. If it's between regions, you're talking about disaster recovery. Hey, this is Paul with Informed CIO. Thanks for taking time to watch this video.